Dreamers Welcome Podcast.
Dreamers Welcome Podcast. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, live from Atlanta, Riverdale to be exact. I go by CEO PESO, blessed and highly favored. Man, I have a special individual, somewhat of a mentor. When I first came down to Atlanta, I met him. Shouts out to Preem. He plugged me in, and good people since, man. Can you introduce yourself for the people?
What's going on, Peso? This is Tobago from DBS Sounds Record Store.
Y'all see the sign in the back, DBS Sounds, man. 25 years plus.
28.
28. I know it's over 25, but I ain't want to get it off. But just know he been in the game long time, man. Physical CDs, vinyl records,
Online.
Still
Online DBS
online,
Sounds.
yeah, online DBS
.com,
Sounds.
.com, yeah.
Everything going on, but I was reading, doing my research, and then, you got the longest like vinyl CD record store, like just
Urban in Atlanta. Let me turn this phone off.
Yeah, you got it.
We're the longest urban record store here in Atlanta. There are some stores around the country that's been in longer than me, like VIP Records in Long Beach and Chantoniques and stuff like that. They've been around for a long time. But as far as Georgia, we're the longest running urban store here.
How'd that feel, man?
It feel good, man. It feel good. I was part of a coalition of stores. It was about 10 of us, and, I was last man standing, So it feel good to still be here and doing well,
Yeah, and it's always been on this side of town. Like I know we was talking about locations changed, but
I always stayed on the south side. We had 3 stores at one point. We had one in College Park, Forest Park, and one in Gainesville, Florida. Okay. And we also had Cafe DBS in Morrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah.
Man, so like that's, I had to get you on here for one because I definitely respect the business, and Preem always talked about you and just thriving. You always kicking good game. A lot of stuff I remember that you said. So this is big for me, for my platform. And I know you say you don't really do too many of these, so make sure we get all the gems.
To be honest with you.
I'm surprised though, cause man, you got so much clout. I mean, I know you get asked for it, but that make me feel good to get that first one.
No doubt.
So I'm gonna make sure I get as much gems and info I can out of you right now.
All right.
Man, for the people who don't know, I just want to get a little bit of your background. Where you're from and your upbringing, and how you got here.
Yeah. Well, I'm from Trinidad and Tobago. That's where the nickname Tobago come from. I came to the country when I was 9 years old. I've been working, I tell everyone, since 5. We had a farm in Trinidad, and I was raised by my grandparents. So, we was big into farming and stuff like that. Yeah. So we would grow things, go in the market, and sell it in Arima. That's where we went selling the items. And then after that, I moved here to Brooklyn, New York when I was 9, but I still had that hustle from a young boy. So I ended up packing bags in Speedway in Brooklyn, New York. At 9, I was making about $30-40 at 10 years old when I got up here. Around $30-40 after high school was good back then for a young boy.
Absolutely.
So started working at the airport when I was 18, And
this is still in New York?
Yeah, in New York.
Yeah.
I was a lifeguard at 15, took up swimming. I was always a worker, man.
Yeah.
So then after I had the opportunity to move to Atlanta, I was working with TWA when American bought them out. And then I transferred down here. I met a guy named Shabazz. I always give Shabazz props because he had a book called Think and Grow Rich. And that book inspired me. Yeah. So when I was seeing all the people who had rough upbringings and they was working for themselves, the book truly inspired me to work for myself. So I opened a little spot in a flea market booth just up the block here in Upper Riverdale Road, Clayton County Flea Market. And that was back in February of 94. And had like a little showcase with some mixed CDs on the walls. Back then I was buying masters from DJ Clue, Doo-Wop, SNS, all the big DJs up top in New York. But it wasn't until I had a chance encounter with MC Assault and DJ Jelly and Starvin' Marvin from down here.
Yeah.
That's when stuff really started moving for us out here. So we started carrying Jelly mixes.
Yeah.
And then, we kept going after that. In 96, we went and did the Olympics. And I don't know if you remember the Olympics in Atlanta. You know, it cost us a lot of money. I think back then I paid about $3,000 for a booth.
Oh yeah, see, y'all set up a booth at the Olympics with the mixtapes.
But where they told us where we was gonna be was where all the action was, but they had us down on Auburn Avenue, so we lost a lot of money, and the flea market closed. So I was down to like my last $4,000 after investing and all that stuff, buying tons of product, and then after I got my first store over in College Park. 56, 58 over there, Riverdale Road.
Yeah.
And then we started popping from there with as far as having a physical location of our own. And that's when we really start doing our thing, start going to conventions, learning about the business.
Yeah.
Linked up with other stores like Airwax and Jump Street Records and North Georgia Compact Disc, Music Vibration, you know, all the key record stores that was out here at the time. And then we formed a coalition, and then we started making moves then.
Okay. Damn, hell of a life story.
Yeah,
So,
and I cut it down too, man.
Yeah, but
I didn't tell you how I got shot 3 times in New York and all that kind of stuff. It was a journey.
Cause okay, one thing that stood out was you moved from Trinidad from a young age.
Yeah.
You still had to hustle.
Yeah.
Coming up here.
Yeah.
So at that age though, because it seemed like you had like kind of grew up faster than the average or whatever person.
Right.
So how was it, if you can remember vaguely, or like that feeling of like, okay, you in Brooklyn, New York, hell of a different scenery.
Yeah.
But like, what makes you just be like, all right, I still got to get it here by any means, though?
I mean, it was just that upbringing from Trinidad. I gotta say, my grandmother. It was always me and her. You know, we always, you know, going to see other family. That's a thing I think that's lost with a lot of families now. We used to go to all parts of Trinidad. My grandmother, it was 13 of them.
Okay.
Brothers and sisters. So we was always seeing everyone. Everyone was hustling, working hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And coming from there, I just, you know, like that little money we used to make when we used to go to the market and sell. God rest her soul. I remember after that, my grandmother would take me to buy some chicken and eat ice cream and all that. So when I came up from Trinidad, I just still wanted that money, still wanted
it's still in
to
you,
have
right?
my own,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then eventually my mother sponsored her and brought my grandmother up, and she was the one that used to walk me to the supermarket and walk me back home after school. So come and get me and walk me back home. So I always had that from my upbringing.
Yeah, definitely. It's embedded in you.
Yes.
So because New York is definitely, you know, super fast paced from where you came from to being there. Yeah. You know, you got adjusted there, but what do you appreciate about New York that built you into who you are? What's a characteristic that New York gave you?
I mean, but New York, you always got to grind. You know, it's always a grind. It's a hustle. You know, everybody like to look good, look flashy. You know what I mean? I remember I was one of the first kids to buy a car in school. I bought a car at 15. I had a Chevy Monte Carlo.
On them.
Yeah. Had
a T-top?
No, I had just a regular convertible.
Well, still.
I mean, a regular Chevy Monte Carlo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, always had the jewelry, you know, back then. You know, it's all about being flashy in New York. You know, you having the Sherlins, your jewelry, like I said, you know, your car, the girls, you know, that was just the move coming up. Yeah. So, you know, you had to get your money. And I was getting it, you know, as far back then.
Shit, a Chevy at 15 pulling up. That's a statement.
No doubt.
That's a damn statement.
Yeah.
So then the transition down here, you know, Atlanta, I would say, I ain't gonna say the music scene wasn't big back in the day in Atlanta like how New York was. I'm thinking, right?
Right.
But now you coming down here. And you say you was setting up like shops at different places?
No. I was in a flea market.
Oh, you had a flea market?
Flea market up the road. So I just got a flea market booth. So when I came down here, I was carrying mixed CDs at the time.
Right.
And like I said, you know, Funkmaster Flex, all those guys I had relationship because I was getting the CD from them.
Directly.
Right.
Is that what you meant by like getting the masters from them? Like, so
buying the cassettes.
Yeah.
I think I said CD, but buying the cassettes and, you know.
Did they know you was dubbing them and shit? Like,
Okay. You buy them. I used to buy from Clue Moms all the time, man. You call Clue Moms, and she didn't used to play, man. You know, I remember I was buying the the mixtape masters back then for like $250. It was like $250, and then after spending with Clue for a while, it ended up being I think I was getting it like $150 or something back then.
Yeah.
They had DJ Dog Time. Dog Time was a blend king, and his stuff, used to do well for us back then as well. But like I said, it wasn't until I hooked up with DJ Jelly and MC Assault, they was running the stuff out here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was going, no exaggeration, doing like $165 a week. I was also working at the airport up until June 5th. So my wife opened the booth, Bridget, in February, and then my days off, I'll come and work it,
Right.
And it was like $165 we was making a week. And once I linked up with Jelly and them and started buying the cassettes from them, we went from $165 to we was doing like over 1,000 a week.
Okay.
Because they had the movement out here. Back then it was them, Edward J, Jamponi out of Florida. You was getting a lot of stuff from him and Freak Nasty and all of that was popping back then,
So, okay, but at the same time, when you was buying the masters directly from Flex and them and all that, was that not circulate that type, like New York music wasn't down here like that yet?
No, it wasn't down there like that yet.
So that's where you kind of had your leeway of like, okay, you got the direct music from the New York base.
Yeah.
But then, so how did you click up with DJ Jelly now? I mean, because at one point, if I had to feel like competition.
It was just like on a humbug, man. MC Assault was coming to open a booth in the flea market, and I was already there. So he said how we was coming in there, him and Starvin Marvin was coming in there to open a booth, and he said that how, man, being you here already, we could wholesale to you, and I ended up wholesaling from them. Back then, I was buying the cassettes for $4 and selling it for $10. And first batch had to be 60, 240. And then after, man, I think I read up about 4 times that week from it just popping. Because people was asking for it. I just didn't link up with them. So it was like kind of happenstance that I linked up with them.
Yeah.
From them wanting to open a spot there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Now that's crazy. I mean, just right place, right time, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, another question from your explanation earlier. You mentioned Think and Grow Rich. Like, I recently read that book. I was actually reading that book when I first moved here because shit was like tough when I got here. But what's one of your favorite pieces of that book that you really got from that when you read it that like stick with you?
I think it was more or less Ray Charles owning his masters and stuff like that. Stevie Wonder being blind. You know what I mean? You think about a person being blind and how much they accomplish not being able to see. You know what I mean?
Difficult.
Oprah Winfrey, what she went through with her upbringing and stuff like that, and to become one of the wealthiest, if not the wealthiest black woman in this country,
Yeah.
So when you seeing people just having all kinds of decks stacked against them and they did it big, it just said, I thought what I could do, what I like to do, and I always like music, New music come to New York, I'm heading to the Wiz, and picking it up and, pumping it in my Cherokee and stuff like that. So, that's what I thought. I thought long and hard what I liked, and that was it. That was music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you opened your first store here, then you say you opened multiple stores.
Yeah. Yeah, I moved to a bigger location when I was in College Park. I was in 1,200, and I moved to 2,400 square feet. It's funny because it's kind of similar because we built a stage over there. And back then, we was popping. You see some of the photos on the wall.
We're going to talk. Yeah,
we had like Beanie Siegel and them come through. Dwelle did performing on that stage. It just, we did block parties. It's a lot of pictures I didn't have.
Yeah.
But when I moved to that bigger location is when the door opened. It's kind of like here because we moved to this bigger location now and stuff really popping on for us. But we did some big in-stores with one of my good brothers is David Banner. We did
shouts out to Dave.
Yeah. And 666 Mafia. They backed the whole tour bus up to the stage and they came there and ripped it. With the Clips came on there and we to the store and we did a block party there with them too. So, that was it.
So as being fresh and new, how was you able to to get them star name people to come through and come to your place and start building up your reputation like that? Because you got, I'm gonna do B-roll, but you got so many pictures in here with people from back in the days. Jeezy over here, you got Jay-Z. Yeah. Like, so how was you pulling them people in to come and rock with you?
Well, it started with you going to conventions.
Right.
You will go to music conventions. They had a convention that was big called Impact. And we would go to the Impact convention. When I say we, I'm talking about our coalition.
Yeah.
And then after, you were always, to me, outspoken. I ain't shy. I'll go talk to the CEO, whoever the company. So I will meet, whether it be Jim Urey from Universal or Jack McMurrow from Atlantic, you know what I mean? So, or Sony. The folks from Sony, I'm drawing a blank now, but I will meet them and talk to them and let them know about me and where my store are and what I'm looking for. When we came in, you couldn't even get a poster to put up on the wall, so I would look in the back and call people to put up posters and get posters to put up on the wall.
Yeah.
And then after, when you go to the convention and you realize that, it's stores outside of Atlanta that was getting paid to put up posters.
Right.
Like, hold up,
yeah,
I'm putting up
big
posters
difference.
for free.
Right.
So I got wind and we start, putting marketing plans together and things of that nature.
Start mimicking
right.
the big shit. Yeah.
Right. And then once we together in other states, which is a good thing on these conventions, you meet other stores doing different things and you start exchanging ideas and stuff like that and find out what's working and what's not. And a key piece to your question is that we report to SoundScan. SoundScan is a company that tracks data.
Yeah.
So a lot of people
like spins and sales and stuff, right?
Right, kind of like BDS to the radio.
Yeah, okay.
Right,
yeah.
So now it's like if you buy a carton of milk from the grocery store, it's a barcode to show how many of that milk sold out of that store.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's the same way with music, and SoundScan collects the data and report it to Billboard.
So y'all was rolling.
Yeah, so then after it's, you realize that, that's how you get eyes on you, is to make sure that when someone comes to the store, you can report the sales to the company.
Right.
So then after the record companies want to come to a store that's going to report their sales, is because it'd be like Master P when he came out selling out the trunk. Nobody knew he was selling it out the trunk beside him and the people he sold it to.
Right.
So now if you're here as a record store now and you sell it and you see your sales counted, then, you're important to the company.
Yeah, so on the business aspect of that as well, was this all like self-taught? Like you just
No. You're going to the conventions and they have meetings.
Okay.
Yeah, they're putting you up on what makes you a better store, marketing, the ABCs always be calling, when ain't nothing going
like
on. You calling somebody, hey, what's going on? What's new? You could call your distributor, what's coming out. You could call Warner Brothers and say, hey, what's your upcoming artist?
So it's kind of like
proactive.
Yeah. So it's kind of like you a work for hire in a sense of like calling them, seeing what's new coming out.
Yeah.
And then you trying to get a first
and
dibs
you
of
get in
it.
a relationship of, hey, this guy is, he wants to do some things with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, personal question. What would be your most memorable or favorite, like, store run that you did with somebody, or just somebody that you met that was just like, damn, like this, like, you know what I mean? Because you got pictures with everybody that you met, but what's like a memorable one?
That's a few. That's only about 5-10% to be honest.
Oh yeah, that's all I know.
I wish I had some more. Man, what's a good memorable time? I got a few memorable times. I remember meeting Janet Jackson was nice.
Explain that.
Yeah, but Janet Jackson.
You smile heavy when you said that.
Yeah, because the Janet was at the Swiss Hotel and they invited me out. It was me and a couple of our coalition partners. It was Michelle and Nina from our North Georgia Compact Disc at the time, and Music Vibration. And, they had the radio station, a couple of radio stations was there. It was intimate, maybe about 8 tables, and everybody suited and booted with ties and all that. And I came with a little Rockaway sweater, Rockaway jeans, and some Timbs on. I just came regular.
But you, yeah.
Yeah, so I came and Then when she came, she had on like a little white top with a pair of jeans and some boots too.
Oh, what era Janet was this? What year are we talking?
We talking probably about maybe 20 years ago. Is it that long? Maybe about 18 years ago.
Okay, so early 2000s.
Yeah.
All right, late 90s, whatever. Yeah.
About early 2000.
Okay.
So when she came out, she came to each table. You know, she'll take one picture with the person. And then when she came, I just told her, I said, I've been a fan of you since Penny, from Good Times. I said, you was like my first crush. And he was just talking and laughing. She ended up taking 13 pictures with me where people was getting one. And CJ Jemison is who put that together with EMI. And it was cool. She was just there talking. Hey, what's the name of your store? She reminded me of, she was real shy. That's what I was remember with Janet. She was real shy, door slam. She would kind of
That's wild.
jump. Yeah,
but that seemed like that seemed like her demeanor. She was so just.
She's sweet.
She's
real sweet. So it's Janet.
Man, so I was surfing through your Instagram and I seen you had put a post up a while ago. Best Buy had said they was gonna stop selling physicals and everything.
Yeah.
And then here you are, 2022. Streaming everything. It has, it took over whatever. But you still stuck to the roots.
Yeah.
Why was that so important to you?
I mean, failure is not an option. Vans,
so many words.
Yeah, Vans, the sneaker company came and did a story on me last year. They did it with 6 stores around the country, and I was one of the stores. And that was the question they asked. Failure wasn't an option for me. I love the music business. I said I was leaving this business probably a good 10 times already.
Yeah.
But every time I'm ready to leave, it'll be some kind of situation where it just happens to just say hang in there or keep you going. We'll either move in a new location. Somebody will come in and do a big event with us or something like that. So, I mean, me and my brother, I couldn't do it without my brother, Donnell, Mooch. He came down from New York and he held it down. He was holding down DBS Sounds 2. And then once we closed DBS Sounds 2, we just said we'll put it into one store.
Yeah.
I do sell real estate as well. He sell real estate as well. So we do real estate on the side and work the store.
Yeah.
So the thing is, back then is that, I'm not, well, how can I put it, right? I'm not too dependent. I'm more this year though, because real estate been a little challenging this year. But it's more like I'm kind of free up to do different things. Yeah. Because I'm never stuck to just doing one thing.
Right.
So with the store situation, I think a lot of stores went under because they was just doing the store. They was just selling,
just getting the product and
that's it out the store.
Yeah.
But with us, we would go to churches. If a church event, bring an artist to a church. Like we bought Marvin Sapp and Dietrich Haddon and stuff like that. I would go on the road with an artist. We would go with like say Kim to Houston, Texas, or go to Florida with Kim. We'll go to
just bring the awareness.
Wherever it is. No, but I'm going on the road to handle the merchandising for them.
Okay.
So I'm doing the selling of their product. So I'll go with Angie Stone to South Carolina. You know what I mean?
Yeah, real guerrilla marketing.
Right.
Yeah.
So she will do a festival. I'll handle the selling. So I've never been one to just I'm going to stay in the store and let the money come to us.
Right.
We'll set up online stores or eBay, Amazon.
Yeah.
Different revenue streams. It may not be big money, but if you make a little 500 here from one place, a little 1,000 here from the next, it all adds up. And then you sell a house and make 10,000.
Yeah.
Even if you don't make any money in the store, for me personally, because I always take care of my brother and whoever will work for me. You know, I make sure and take care of folks. Can't nobody come and say I never paid them or don't pay them or anything. I take care of people good. If there's anybody who'll go for lack, it's me. But I'm a great saver. So once I make the money, I'll put down. Because one thing, unless even millionaires go through it, but one thing about life is not if problems going to come, is when. You be driving, and next thing you know, your tire blew. You got to go buy a tire, $300.
Right.
So you got to always have some money saved. And that's the thing with me. I'm a great saver. So when the lean time comes, you know, I could always bounce and say, hey, I got
it
this.
back. Yeah.
It, you know, so.
And another thing too, I noticed, you know, because I've been to, you know, a couple of events multiple events that you be having, but you a staple to the area as well, and the local artists and just the local things, period.
Yeah.
And you know, with the showcases that you do.
Yeah.
So explain why that's the importance of like why you choose to bring that into the storefront.
But I always look at it like, you know, a lot of the big artists, if you look back, we did a lot of their first album release, or we would go, it's the music business changed from what it used to be before to where upcoming artists, you know, the T.I.s of the world, or 2 Chainz to Killer Mike, or whoever they are, when they first project coming out, they incorporate in the record stores.
Right.
So you go out and support the record store, and when it's time for them to do, you know, events, they'll come back and support you. So I've always big in supporting independence, supporting the community. When we do record store day, most day we grilling and cooking
the food,
and feeding the community, because it's the community that come and support you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're the one that put their hard-earned money into your business. So, you know, you form a relationship. I'm literally 28 years old. So just imagine, I seen an 18-year-old now is 46.
Yeah.
You know, I saw him come from high school, and now he's there with 2-3 kids and stuff like that. So it just, you support the community, and they support you back. So I'm always open for doing things and supporting the indies and things of that nature. Not so much now as I did before, and I'll explain why. Back then, a lot of people had physical product, and they will bring the product and they'll drop it on you and expect you to sell the project, sell their CD or cassette or whatever back then. So now I'm a little more, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm particular on what I take. I want to see an artist that's working their stuff. And if they don't know how to work, I'll tell them how to work it. Okay, well, the artwork don't look good. I won't take it because you don't have a barcode.
Right.
So it's not doing me no good to bring in your project if you don't have a barcode and nobody knows to track your sales. Nobody knows you're selling it but me and you.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'm a little hard on independent. Sometimes I might just say, put a little money into your project. Put a light box in the window. Okay, I may charge $250 for a light box. I'll give you for $100. Put it in there for a month. It may stay 2 months. So that when people come to the store, they look, you'll get in the listening station, people will be able to help you and see the visual, and now you're marketing your own project. You know?
Exactly.
So I'm a little more particular now. But I'm all for helping folks, man.
Yeah.
The Lord loves a cheerful giver.
I want to say it again.
The Lord loves a cheerful giver.
Oh, yeah,
it's
absolutely.
always better to give.
Yeah. So going into that though, like, you know, you then they're kind of coaching artists in the sense of like getting theirs together as far as with the barcode or, you know, the listening stage or the image.
Artwork, where to go to get your sound scan.
Yeah.
Where to press your product up at. You know, this place is doing showcases. You know, back then I was more involved.
Right.
Yes.
So have you ever played like the manager role
I did that for a while. I did it with Preem. I did it with Lord Infamous.
He was managing Preem at one point.
I opened a few doors, put Preem with a few people. One is Ricardo Spicer with Sweat Beats is who he's with right now. Linked him up with Drama and a few other people. But it just takes a lot doing that management.
Trust me, I know.
Right.
I tried it.
Yeah, I did it. You know, I did it with my daughter and stuff like that. Nate Starr, she doing her thing now with her project. But I'm on the advisory now. You know, somehow that being out late night, you know, I'm getting up there now and, you know, it just ain't for me. But if I could advise, I will.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I feel like when we saying that, I feel like you're doing that through giving people, you know, a critical sense of, you know, how they should present their work.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I still be now, you know, to see somebody like, you know, slanging CDs, burnt CDs with the writing on it.
Yeah, nah.
It's kind of like, come on, bro. Like,
you got to do
you
better.
at an age to where I don't even know who told you that's the wave to go down. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's totally different.
Yeah. But a lot of people now, they think the CD is obsolete. That's the problem I'm having. It's they think it's no record stores around. But that's far from the truth. I mean, 2021 CD sales went up since 2004. Vinyl
physical CDs.
Yeah, physical. Yeah. Vinyl is through the roof. I watch, you just got to watch some of the big artists, man. When you see like Metallica come out with their project, Metallica have a box set. Then they have I'm talking vinyl. Then they have a double vinyl. Then they have a single vinyl.
Yeah.
Then they'll have a cassette, and then
it's maximizing across the board.
All across the board.
Yeah.
So when you think of all different format that one project come in, yeah. It's all that is revenue stream. So if you want to buy the single vinyl, or you could buy the box set for $200 and change. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think for artists, they leave a lot of money on the table because they rely a lot on the streaming. And my whole thing is you could do both. You follow some of the rock bands. They big on vinyl. They big on CDs. And my simple thing is just like you having money on hand. You do a show. You have your girlfriend, you have your homeboy, your road manager, whoever want to be down, and you got a real movement behind you.
Yeah.
All you got to do is set a card table up like we got here, a folding card table with 2 folding chairs. You perform, you tell the people you're right here, you have these phones, you put your card reader on it, and you take your payments right there. You sell the CD for $10 or the vinyl for $30.
Yeah.
And then after now, once you finish your show, you come and you sign it, take some pictures, and you start building your brand.
Real way.
And you can still do your streaming, downloadings, or whatever. So we as urban folks leave a lot of money on the table because I see both sides of it because I sell rock, pop. I'm part of a coalition of stores, like a member of Doors, Department of Record Stores. I was the only black store in 77 white stores. And then Michael Kurtz, he's the top guy there, said, Tobago, why don't you go and do your own thing? So right now I'm working with 33 black-owned record stores around the country.
Okay.
And it's called FAMS, Forever Music Store. And we're working to get the stores up and running so we could do marketing, do events at these stores, not only music. If Cadillac come with a new Cadillac and they want to market to these stores, we're in the community, we could do it like that as well.
Yeah. One thing I do think with the physical CDs and vinyls, because you're doing a lot with the vinyl selling too as well. Like you said, you're doing that online. Yeah. But I think for you to see both sides of it, I think because the urban areas started looking at CDs and vinyl's obsolete. Now it's starting to become like a more tangible classic, like a real collector's item. But that was a whole movement. Now, yeah, I know.
It was a whole movement to kill the whole CD and push everything digital.
Yeah, but
because it starts with there's so much that goes into what I'm trying to say here. Like for instance. You had it like where the Best Buy, Target, Walmarts of the world selling CDs, selling CDs for $9.99. That's their retail price. When we go to buy the same CD wholesale, it's about $10.69, $10.99, $11.54 wholesale.
Right.
They retailing it for $9.99. So sometimes we had to go buy product from these stores to bring into our store to sell because the one-stops, the distributors were selling it for like $12.41. So you save, if you're picking up 100 CDs, or let's say a masterpiece, I'm just using that as an example, then you're saving a couple of bucks. That's $200 you will save if you go pick that up. So it started with the chain stores selling product below cost. That's driving your customers away.
Right.
Then it started with getting rid of the college rep working the records at colleges, right? Then, it started with artists not putting out physical product.
Yeah,
so when you have your big artists coming out and, it started with Prince did a lot of that. stuff, pull his stuff off the market and sell it online or only on his site and stuff like that. And then when artists now not coming out, just think about it. It's just, for instance, and I swear I don't want to call no names, but I just might. But the people that's coming out that not putting out physical CDs. Right?
Yeah.
So let's say you have, I'm not going to call no name because I work with everybody. But I'll just say, let's say Joe Blow.
Right.
Joe Blow is selling, say, 2 million CDs, right?
Right.
Let's say he's selling 500,000, okay? Now, if you got 10 Joe Blows that didn't put out their CD that's moving that same amount of product, that's 5 million CDs, right?
Yeah.
That's off the market if we're using just CDs.
Yeah.
So now at the end of the year, and if you selling 100 million CDs a year across the United States, and now you're selling 95. The reason you're selling 95 and CD sales is down because Joe Blow didn't put out 10 Joe Blows didn't put out the product.
Exactly.
So you're 5 million less, and that CD sale went down. You understand?
Yeah.
And then after now, you go into where all the disc jockeys, nobody's buying CDs. Nobody's buying CDs. CD sales is down. Nobody's buying CDs. Again, that's a narrative that's reverberating in everyone's head that nobody's buying CDs. And pretty soon when people come there, oh, you have a record store? People still buy CDs? But meanwhile, we selling tons of CDs here.
Right.
So it's just, you lose the marketing rep. That's marketing coming in, putting up posters in your store, doing marketing programs. So if we have the Run the Jewels that's like in the window, and they come in and they say, Tobago, I want that light box of $200 and da-da-da-da-da for the month, you lost that person. You lost the college rep.
Right.
You lost the artist putting out physical product. You see where I'm going?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's gradually killing the urban business.
The way, yeah.
But meanwhile, if you go to pop, rock, metal, country, Latin, they never stop putting out physical product.
So why you think that's
Never stop now. Just think about that.
I know. Yeah.
So they never stop. So meanwhile now, they got the CD. Now I'm seeing you got CDs. One artist will have a CD. You have the cassette. You have the vinyl. They have the double vinyl. Then you got a shirt. Then you got the hat. Now you got merch. So now you create a bundle pack and you sell it for $100. So not only do they get their physical pieces sold, they also get their merches, so everybody wearing it. Like you look and you see your Public Enemy or whatever, that's merch. Yeah. So when you sell that, you're getting your merch sold and your product sold. But meanwhile, in our community, nobody's buying music.
Right.
Nobody's buying records.
So you saying the ball is dropped to where urban artists could be making more money. But if they utilizing a bundle of like cassette, vinyl, CD,
way more,
hat, shirt,
way more,
keychain,
way more. You know who's great at doing it? I like to talk. Who's great at doing it? Killer Mike.
Really?
With that Run the Jewel, Killer Mike put out a double vinyl, a single vinyl, different color vinyl, cassette, CD, everything.
They giving them multiple options to have the tangible. And that's because I was looking at it's a Jeezy vinyl over there, and it was like the best of Thug Motivation. It was like just certain songs from each motivation shit, and that was like good. Like damn, it's just a piece of a product of his favorite songs from each Thug Motivation series.
Right, and then think about it now. You go back you'll go back like everybody back in the day might have had a Lil' Kim squatting down poster in there.
Everybody had it,
you'll have LL Cool J. My Radio.
Oh yeah, Word Up, Nelly, Ja Rules.
Right. All of those artists, you have a poster putting up in their room or the artwork of the vinyl in their room. 20 years from now, if you're not putting out, what is going to keep your memory alive? It's nothing tangible.
Exactly.
You could see, you could touch, you can hang on your wall.
Yeah.
And a lot of artists don't get that, man. And then on top of that, not even look at it that way. Let's flip it again and look at it. That is record stores that's selling your product. So you're giving the record store in your community a reason to survive. That people will come into your store and support your project. Yeah. When you put your project online and you don't put any physical product, it's just helping the bootleggers. Yeah. Because the bootlegger going to get it and they're going to get the money. But just think about it, if you would think about the record stores that's in your community. I got news for you. I'll go to conferences, man. I went to a conference called, what's it called? summer camp.
Mm.
And I raised my hand and I asked, and I forgot who record company I asked, how come you didn't put out physical product in on this project? And I was one or only two black person in the room, majority of white folks, and the white folks clapping because guess what? White stores sell urban product too.
Right. Yeah.
It's not only
huge.
It's not only a black thing.
Yeah.
You understand? White folks sell it and they will lose money for how much stuff that they can sell as well.
Right.
So it behooves them to understand it's 1,400 record stores that we know of around the country. Around the globe, actually.
Yeah.
Let me word that right. 1,400 is where I got from I just drew the blank from Record Store Day. RecordStoreDay.com.
Yeah.
About 1,400 record stores. So just imagine if you put your project. We do Record Store Day each year. Because of the pandemic, we had a few drops last year, and they have exclusive vinyls that come out. And it's a ton of stores moving vinyls. We just did well with the Belle Biv DeVoe, the Poison piece that we did that just came out. The Mariah Carey, the Ones, and Future. People is buying music, man.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's a whole big plan to sync the physical and push everything digital. And we as a people was the one that fell into the rabbit hole.
Yeah, and then you say it's like 1,400, like around the world. That's y'all damn near landmarks at this point.
Right.
For real, And like you said, what you're doing with the community, it's just the circle effect. You bring somebody here, they get to meet them.
Yeah.
Get a signed poster.
Yeah.
Like you say, that's bringing them back to support.
Yeah, we just did a big in-store with Kalani.
Kalani, that was huge. It
was behind the Food Depot here, man, lined around. We just did a big one with Gunna.
Yeah.
We just did one nice one with Yo Gotti, Doc Wiley. I mean, it's people moving units.
Yeah.
We had Jason Nelson, the gospel artist, So we got a lot of stuff upcoming. We're supposed to be doing Jack Harlow. Giveon.
You're talking about Pusha.
Pusha T.
Yeah,
Pusha
I'm here
T.
for that. Yeah.
I want to get Nas when he come with that Wu-Tang concert. I'm hoping I could get Nas in here to do a signing. So we'll see how
I feel like it's going. Man, I'm appreciative of this conversation with you.
doubt.
I'm like, I always respected you. I've asked you plenty of questions just through the years, and I'm very grateful for this. So one thing I asked before we wrap up, I asked everybody, but what's a good quote or a piece of advice that you live off of?
Treat people how you want to be treated.
Simple.
That's it.
Simple.
And keep it moving. For me, I say it all the time. I probably put it in the air. It won't get better, but I got 2 bum knees. But, I do real estate. I got a beautiful granddaughter now, Amora. I keep
Congrats.
her alive. I just started my organic garden this week. I usher at church when the church taking ushers. I work the store. I like to keep it moving.
Absolutely.
Keep it moving. And anybody needs some help, you help them when you can. Some people, they abuse your help, but then you just got to know your limits,
Yeah, and let God handle it. I just went through that situation.
Yeah. Man, I went through it so many times that we could do another podcast on that.
Me too.
Trust me about it, man. But basically, man, treat people how you want to be treated, man. It's so much crime. There's so much people doing stuff to our sisters and mothers, grandparents, man. People knocking over grandparents. I'm like, where?
Wild shit,
it's
man.
It's freaking animals.
No morals.
Here. No morals.
Yeah.
Animals out here. Just treat people. So how would you feel if that's your grandmother getting knocked over in the street?
I go as deep as like to not even get mad at an old person driving, because I'm like, I wouldn't want nobody yelling at my grandma like that. So like, I literally be thinking like, okay, like that. You don't do that.
You just treat people. It's more better to love than hate, man.
Yeah.
And that's it. So, but that's it. I'm glad you got me to open up and talk for some stuff. Man. I said my first podcast, but the first was with Vans, I told you, and then you, man.
So Vans was actual pod? Interview style?
It was an interview style, and they came from my house, started filming me from my house.
Oh,
it's
it's
on DBSsounds.com.
I'm going to check it out. Check it out,
no
man.
Doubt, man.
Man, thank you. I appreciate you. I'll make sure I put the information and everything where we located at. And, Yeah, man. Dreamers Welcome Podcast. Y'all keep on dreaming, and we out.
No doubt. I appreciate you, bro.
Always.
Thank you. Great questions, too, man.
Dreamers Welcome Podcast.